Now let's talk about Studio Configuration 2. If you wish to move into the realm of great audio quality, we need to talk about this configuration. A microphone plugged into an interface box or other third-party device designed to accept a standard 3-pin, called XLR, microphone cable. This setup will set the stage for getting the best audio quality possible. It's the same basic configuration as the highest-end computer recording studios. Now let's look at some microphones for Configuration 2. Without going into a huge dissertation on microphone types, let me just mention that there are two primary kinds of mic: dynamic mics and condenser mics. Here is what you need to know. For recording, use a condenser mic. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule, but in general, dynamic mics are great for live performance and for recording certain things like drums or guitar amplifiers. But condensers, especially large diaphragm condensers, are best for recording voices. Here are some examples of large diaphragm condenser mics for Studio Configuration 2. On the low side of the affordability scale is the Audio-Technica AT2020, which is actually a really good mic, especially for the price. Then you've got the big brother, the Audio-Technica AT2035, which has a selector switch so you can choose multiple polar patterns like cardioid or figure 8 or omni. The Blue Yeti Pro, which is a combination USB mic or standard XLR mic, is awesome. The Neumann TLM102 or any of the Neumann TLM series are awesome, but very expensive. As you can see, the Neumann U87 is $3,600. So these are all XLR standard mics that are suitable for voice recording on Studio Configuration 2. Now let's look at the interface for Configuration 2. Audio interface boxes, such as the M-Audio Fast Track as an example of a common one, are built with excellent quality converters. The Fast Track is about $100. These interfaces also come with something called phantom power, which is required for condenser microphones. Combine one of these interfaces with a non-USB large diaphragm condenser mic, like some of the ones we just saw on the previous slide, and the result is a crystal clear, very detailed and accurate audio recording. Even the extreme high-end recording setups will use some variation of the mic interface computer configuration, what we call Configuration 2. The vast majority of folks will find the quality of even the least expensive of this type of setup, right around $300, will be good enough for anything they'll ever want to do. Now let's talk software. I left this part until last because if you get everything else right, the software is probably the least important part of the equation, and there are tons to choose from. For voiceover stuff, you truly can get by using Audacity, which is a free recording software program that you can download right now. For a free product, Audacity is pretty amazing, but it's hard to use, it's not intuitive, and some of the editing tools aren't great, especially the noise reduction tool, which, as we mentioned, is pretty important for voiceover recording. I always recommend a program called Reaper, whose fair pricing scheme is unheard of in any kind of business. This software is incredibly powerful. I use it for everything, even my music studio. And even though it isn't labeled as such, there is a tool in Reaper that is one of the best noise reduction tools available, called ReFir, R-E-A-F-I-R. FIR stands for Finite Impulse Response, if you care. That's just a bonus tip. There's a post on Homebrew Audio about ReFir that tells you all about it. But back to that pricing thing. Unless or until you start making 20 grand per year with the audio you produce using Reaper, you don't have to buy their commercial license that costs $225. You can use the discounted license, which is only $60. And guess what? The software is exactly the same. It's up to you to decide which license to pay for. Total honor system. Who does that? Also, the 30-day trial is completely uncrippled and will never stop working, though after 30 days you'll start getting pop-ups reminding you that the product is not free. They realize that sometimes it takes longer than 30 days to do an evaluation. I highly recommend Reaper all the way. Now let's talk a little about the accessories. First, we'll talk about mic stands. Since I'm recommending a large mic, you'll need a mic stand of some sort. For non-talking head voiceover stuff, I highly recommend a desk boom stand or a scissor boom. You can clip it to a table or desk and rotate, push, or pull the mic away as you need it. This is very convenient. These things run between $70 and up to $200 and come with a mic cable usually built right in. If you use the handheld type of mic, a desktop stand will run only about $15 or so, and you can use that. Also, the basic boom stand is useful, and most large diaphragm condenser mics really benefit from having what's called a shock mount, which is a cradle that the microphone sits in, and it's suspended by a bunch of elastic bands. And this helps prevent noise from traveling up the mic stand and into the microphone, which is very sensitive. These cost about $25. Cables. If you're using a non-USB mic and not using a desk boom stand, which comes with a cable built in, you'll need a mic cable, which usually costs about $25. Of course, USB mics use USB cables. Headphones. You can get away with using MP3 player type earbuds if you need to, especially if you're just going to be doing voiceovers. But having headphones allows you to hear the audio much more clearly and are very useful if you do any Skype chats or other types of online meetings where you also need to speak into your mic. Otherwise, the speakers will also be picked up by the mic and cause feedback and other unpleasantness. Of course, if you're doing any multi-track recording, usually with music studios, headphones are necessary. I use and recommend the Sennheiser HD280, but as with anything else, there are lots of choices out there. Speakers. Again, if you already have speakers hooked up to your computer, most people do, you can get away with using those for now. When you can afford it, a good upgrade would be to invest in a pair of monitor speakers. Here, there's a picture of the Alesis M1 Actives for about $200. And if you're going to be doing any music, you definitely need to have monitor speakers. Pop screens or pop filters. If you're recording your voice, you need a pop filter to reduce the p-pops that are inevitable in human speech. Large diaphragm condenser mics are extremely sensitive to the little blasts of air that hit them when we say the letter P or other plosive sounds. The result in the recorded audio is a little low-frequency splat type of sound. A pop screen set up between your lips and the mic will reduce or even eliminate p-pops. They cost about $25. Mixers. You don't need one. People think of images of recording studios with big mixing boards, but for a home recording studio, you do all your mixing in the computer. So let's move on. Well, that's pretty much it. Let's review the basic home recording studio options. Option 1, or configuration 1, is a microphone plugged directly into a computer. In order to get professional quality sound, I recommend a large USB mic. And here's a picture of one on a stand with a pop filter plugged into a normal computer running Reaper software. The total cost is about $159. Option 2 is a large diaphragm condenser mic, non-USB type, on a stand with a pop filter plugged into an interface which is plugged into a normal computer running Reaper software. The total cost of something like that is about $315 if you buy them separately. But we were able to get a bundle deal with B&H Photo Video Audio called the Home Recording Starter Kit, which gives you everything you need for configuration 2 in one product for a much lower price. You can get everything for $247.50. If you're interested, come on by homebrewaudio.com for details and to order it. It even has free shipping. Just click on the Gear Recommendations link in the navigation bar on the site. I wanted to quickly talk about some mobile recording solutions which can augment your home studio as well as give you the flexibility to do recording when on the move. Here are just a few of the things out there in May of 2012, and new stuff is being developed just about every day. IK Multimedia is kind of a pioneer in this category. They've got a product which actually just came out this month, May of 2012, called the iRig Pre, which is just a little box that a little tiny like handheld box that plugs into your iPhone or iPad or iPod Touch. And then it allows you to plug a standard XLR microphone into that little preamp. And it also has phantom power, which is something that condenser mics need. That is only $40. Then there's the iRig Mic, which is a microphone that's specifically set up to record with the iOS system. that only costs $45. It's not a large diaphragm condenser mic, but it does give pretty good quality. And for $45, that's not a bad investment for mobile. Then there are a whole raft choices in the handheld portable recording devices market. I've put the Zoom H2 up here as an example, but there are actually dozens of different choices in this category. These are great because they do everything in one little handheld unit. They've got built-in high-quality mic preamps, and they record to little micro SD cards, which you can just pop out and then stick into your computer. Some models, like the Zoom H4 and others, have XLR inputs as well. So you can actually use your high-quality microphones with these if you want. And some people even use these in lieu of the interface boxes that we talked about for studio configuration 2. Another example of an iOS mic is the Apogee Mic, which also just came out, which you can pick up for $199. What's different about this mic is that it is a large diaphragm condenser, as you can see, but it's also a USB mic. It can be used on your computer as a USB mic, or if you use the other cable that it comes with, you can plug it into the 30-pin outlet on an iOS device and use it directly with an iPad or an iPhone. Several companies have started producing microphones like this lately. So for all the mobile folks out there, these are options to augment your recording studio. So now that you know how to put your studio together, you'll want to know how to actually do the recording, right? Well, that's what Homebrew Audio is all about. Come by the site for tutorials, articles, tips, and resources to help you on your recording journey. Also, we have a video tutorial course called The Newbie's Guide to Audio Recording Awesomeness that takes you step by step, even if you've never done any recording before, through creating your first recordings and teaching you the basics of audio recording. Come check it out. In the meantime, good luck with your new home recording studio and happy recording.